Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I wanted to talk about Tesla the car. So, Tesla is an amazing company that I've had the pleasure of driving. I actually have a few videos of driving a Tesla car when it first initially came out. And it was super exciting, super edgy, super different. Now, I'm somebody, unlike most people that I know, at least, I like driving sedans. I like driving in a four-door, smaller car. Most of the guys that I hang out with, they're in trucks or big body cars. And Tesla, for the first time, something that I really wanted was the Model Y. And when the Cybertruck first came out, I also wanted that. Thankfully, over the years of the Cybertruck being postponed, that that want to have one slowly diminished just ever so slightly. And yeah, I no longer want the Cybertruck. However, I still have a lot of interest in that Model Y. All right, the Model Y at the time that I wanted it cost right around $60,000 for the model that I wanted. And I was always told, hey, you're doing good for yourself. You have a great job. You have a great properties. You have great tenants. You're living your best life. Go ahead and buy that Tesla Model Y. Go ahead and do it. The payments, don't worry about the payments. You can afford it, X, Y, and Z. And so, there was a time where I was really considering it because I could pay for these cars in cash, or I can go and get a Tesla Model Y with a down payment and have a few payments. Payments here and there won't kill me in my financial situation. However, I know that if I'm going to pay that much for a car, I should at least have the same amount saved in investments now, and then also saved in my savings account, right? So when I look at my investments, I have enough to buy a Tesla Model Y in terms of stocks and things like that. I'm not talking about my properties. I'm not talking about my equity in my homes. I'm just talking about, do I have as much in my stock market account as I want to purchase in car? If the answer is yes, okay, that's number one. Now, there's this thing called the 5-finger rule, which means if you can't buy it 5 times, don't buy it once. For things like a house, I would say don't utilize that rule. But for anything else, I would consider it. So did you know that most millionaires, most people who are millionaires, drive a car that is at least 4 years old with at least 40,000 miles? Okay? So if I'm looking at my current situation where electric cars are becoming more prevalent in these markets, more visible in these markets, in 4 or 5 years, I can assume that there are going to be a ton of electric vehicles. And now it won't be such a hot commodity, and there will be vehicles that are electric that are priced accordingly towards that. I don't believe that we'll see new cars at $25,000 anymore, but we'll see new cars at maybe $35,000 to $40,000. That's still a $20,000 difference from a $60K Tesla Model Y, right? And in waiting for such a car and going with a 4-year or older version, that $40,000 vehicle would then be priced at maybe $30,000, right? And then 4 years from now, knowing that I already have that in the stock market, what does my stock account look like 4 years from now when I'm still dollar cost averaging and investing in these things? So the point that I'm trying to make here is that as I'm writing my book, I just got to chapter 2, which is called Delaying Gratification. That's something that I've always mentally had to fight. Is I know I can do this. I know I can afford it, right? So why am I delaying my own gratification? Why don't I have this vehicle that I want? And it's so important, so important, because 3, 4, 5 years from now, when you look back, you see all of the times that you delayed gratification and how that has impacted your life. You don't see it initially. It never comes initially. You don't feel any better by not getting what you want right away. However, you know for sure that you'll be in a better financial situation because you did delay it. And so basically what I'm getting at is, I did not move forward with buying the Tesla. Instead, I tried to get a Honda Civic 2022. I tried to get a 2022 Honda Civic, and I had $25,000 cash to purchase this vehicle. When I went to the dealership in late 2021, the dealer said I should finance it, but I was in the process of buying a house. I said, absolutely not. I'm not financing it. And because I wanted to pay cash after a lot of back and forth, instead of giving me the car that was MSRP of $21,000 for $25,000, because it was a booming market, so I was going $4,000 over asking, the dealer came back to me and said they would sell it for no less than $29,000 cash. So a 2022 Honda Civic that is listed at $21,000 MSRP, you're charging me $29,000 in order to purchase it in cash. That is where I drew the line in that car dealership for that entire industry. It really shifted my mind on the car industry as a whole. Because when people are making money, when people are in good times, you see who they are as people. You see what they are as people. And yes, I understand you have your quotas. I understand that you have bosses over you that are trying to squeeze every single last dollar out of every human being that you encounter. However, that was just unbelievable to me. For someone to say you have to pay $8,000 more for this car because you're paying in cash was astonishing. And in this market with high interest rates, I do believe cash is king. And now people are going to be looking at cash as though it's the end-all be-all. And if I had walked into that dealership today with $25,000 in cash, I guarantee to you that they would be jumping for joy trying to get this money, because there's nobody to purchase their vehicles at this time. And so there are cycles. Debt was king at one point when interest rates were below 3%. I would honestly say debt was king. And cash is king now when interest rates are high. So it's not a one size fit all. It depends on the market. And that's a video for another day. But yeah, so I'm delaying gratification. It may take more than 4 years. It may take more than 5 years, because it's such a new thing with these electric cars for it to be mass produced and enter our market. People may still consider it such a new vehicle that, prices stay pretty stagnant for a while before they start to see a reduction in value. And but we all know that outside of this 2021-2022 year, cars tend to go down in value. And so we can expect by 2030 and later on down the line that we will be able to purchase cars at a reduced price. Another thing is, when you have a vehicle that's paid off and you trade it in, you get trade-in value as well, right? So I'm looking at that as well and factoring that in to the cost of purchasing a new vehicle. And so whether I go for a $30,000 car or a $20,000 car, I now have a vehicle that I can trade in 4 or 5 years from now and recoup some of that value back when I go and purchase a new car. And so although I love the Tesla Model Y and I have friends who do have it, and those payments are very hefty for them, and they're not in the same financial situation as me, right? They're paying $700, $800 a month payments on a Tesla Model 3. $700, $8 a month payments, and they're leasing the car. They don't even own it, right? So they're not they're not financing it. They're not being able to sell it and getting some of that equity back when putting it into another vehicle. No, they absolutely leased it for $700-800, and once that lease is up in 2-3 years, they have to look for a whole new car with whole new money. It's unbelievable. But I can see doing that if you make, I don't know, $50,000 to $100,000 a year, and you have a payment or a lease of $100 to $300, but not a payment or a lease of $700-800. That's too impactful financially on you, especially at a young age when you can be using that to invest. And a lot of the things, this is the biggest point that I want to make. When you have a car payment of, I don't know, $200 or more, are you also investing that same amount or greater into your future? Are you investing $200 or more into the stock market, into your 401k plan, into savings? Are you investing that same amount that you're putting into your car payment into your financial future? If the answer is no, you probably shouldn't be taking out a vehicle of that magnitude, right? And then I would also look at anything over $500 payments. I would look at as, even if you are investing $500 or more towards your retirement, I would challenge you to boost that to $600 or $700 and get that payment down to $300, $200, or have no payment at all, right? The goal is to not really have a car payment. If you do have a car payment, don't have a car payment for more than 3 years. Don't have a car payment for more than 3 years. Don't have a car payment for more than 3 years. I want to say that again, just so that you all get the gist of it, right? We should not be taking out cars that are beyond our means, right? That is not the goal. That is not how you get to financial freedom. And so if you do have a car, you want a really, really good car, you want a working car, buy used, and don't take out a payment that is going to take you more than 3 years to pay it off. The goal is to take out a car payment. The goal is to not have a car payment at all. But if you do take one out and it's a 5-year car payment, get it paid off in 3. If it's a 3-year car payment, try to get it paid off as soon as possible. And so, although I love Tesla as a company, I knew that it wasn't in the cards for me to own one right now. I just got a car that takes me from A to B. I paid $11,000 cash for it after some negotiation, and it's been running smooth for over a year now. So I've had it for now just over a year, and the goal was to have it for at least 3 to 5 years. And so 1 year down, 2 to 4 more to go. After that, I'll reevaluate my situation and see if I have done enough to deserve better. And most likely I would have, right? Most likely I do want to go up in car. I do want to have a better car, and I will deserve it because my stocks will show that, the equity in my house will show that, my savings will show that, and everything will point towards I have done enough to where I can justify doing a little bit more in terms of fun for myself. All right. I hope you all enjoyed this. Have a great day. Practice delaying gratification, and on your financial journey, you will see tremendous success. Thank you. Like and subscribe, and have a great day.